Should just take an hour and do stretching. I'll teach you stretching. Okay.
Tanya stretching.
Tanya. Okay. So we were just in Israel. We went with a mission with Hani Lipsker, with the Shul women. We were 22 ladies. We left Motzei Shabbat. We came back next Friday afternoon. So it wasn't even a week. It was super fast. Every day was packed. Like every day since like 7:30 in the morning till like 11:30 at night. And then when you got home, until you shower, you call your family here. It was like every day. It was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like nonstop. But something that was so powerful for me was that I was very much afraid to go. I don't speak the language. I know a little bit of Hebrew. I don't know a lot. And I would say, if there's an emergency, if there's a siren, I don't know how to follow instructions. I'm going to be a burden to them instead of a help, and all sorts of things. And what am I going to find? And so there was a lot of fear. Right? And that's why I teach Tanya. Fear, it clearly comes from the animal. It's very cold. If you want to switch it. Oh, good. Okay, fine. And it's very interesting. Right in the airport, we met up with other people that we know from the community that were in a different mission. In the airplane, there were at least, they say that there were 5 missions, different. Miami Beach, New York, different missions. And all of a sudden, you felt you're not alone. You're not alone. We have a support group, and you felt, oh my gosh, I'm going to be okay. This is going to be, we can do this. And when we got there, everywhere we went, like if it's a Shiva of a mother that just lost her son in Gaza, and the wife of this young soldier is also there in the Shiva. If it's women, we did an art project with women whose husbands right now are in Gaza, and they have their little children. And you see, what you see is these women are really incredible. They're powerful. They have faith. Has shalom a million times, but even the women that have lost members of their family, they have a smile on their face. They have faith. They say that their loved one did not die senselessly. They died for all of Israel. They died for redemption. They died for peace in the whole world. Really, it's incredible. It's incredible everywhere. What I felt is we need to go there. We need to go there. We need to go there again and again and again. We need to support them. It's a country. It's a people that is bleeding. Really, it's wounded. It's wounded. But it has such faith and bitachon that it's gonna be great. We even went to where the Nova Festival was, and I'm not a person that has seen videos or anything like that. I've seen just very short videos of, sometimes you can't help it, and there's like a video that because I don't want to watch it. But I was very scared of going there, and it's very interesting. It's been 3 months, or almost 4 months. You don't see anything of what that was. You don't see. It's just like a big, what do you call it? Like a valley. It's not a valley. It's just a big land with trees, and it's so incredible because we planted trees there, and it's in stark contrast to this evil that is destruction, that is death. It was such a contrast that we, the Jewish people, are all about life and building and construction. And And everywhere you go, people are saying, you know, people have left their homes, but we're gonna rebuild, and we're gonna rebuild even better, bigger than it was before. And you say, where do these people get their strength? Where do they get their faith? Where, how, you know, it's incredible. They have such adversity. We even went to the Shomron, and that is, you know, Shomron, what they call West Bank. That is beyond anything I ever imagined, because I've been in parts of the Shomron, but I've never seen it like I saw it this time. You see that it's really strategically, it is the most important land that we have. It's up on hills, and they took us to a lookout point in the Shomron where it was at night, and they were pointing. You see that light over there? That's Haifa. You can see the light of Haifa. You see that light over there? That's Netanya. That light over there is Tel Aviv. This here is the airport of Tel Aviv. Like, you couldn't believe that you could see all of Israel from one little point. And it really gripped you that this is, you know, if we need to, we're surrounded by enemies. We're surrounded by enemies, and we need to protect ourselves. And whoever controls the Shomron is going to have a big advantage over Israel. And there's 40 communities, there's 40 settlements in the Shomron, and they're not receiving any money. They don't receive any money from the idea from FIDF. They don't receive any money from JNF. They don't. They're like the black sheep of the family, you know, because world opinion looks at them in a bad light. But remember, we're living in a time of falsity. We're living in a time of fake news. We're living in a time where the truth is, you know, the evil one is on top, and the good one, you know, it's crazy what we are living in these times. But we have to realize, and that's why I've asked the people in Shomron to make a video to explain to the Jewish people, and just like we saw it, and for you to feel it, because we need to give to them. They need to defend themselves. These are people that are living with the enemy all around 24/7, and they're like the buffer zone between Israel and all that is around. And they really are taking literally the bullet for us. They really are. So I feel we can do a lot, you know, each one in their way. Look, I have my friend Vivian Bregman. I don't know if you know her. Vivian is 93 years old. 93 years old. Bregman. You know. Okay, so she's 93 years old. I think she's legally blind. She can't see very well. She can't hear very well. She lived through World War II. She was a child in the south of France, escaping from the Nazis. Okay, and she says, "I want to help. I want to do something for Israel. Now I can't see, I can't hear, but I want to help. I want to help. I want to help." You know what she did last night? She did in her house a parlor meeting to raise funds. I mean, she did it for the JNF, the Jewish National Fund. And it was her way of contributing something, of making an awareness for what's going on. And you look at her and you say, wait a second, I'm 93-year-old person, you know, could say, well, I'm 93, I already did what I did, you know. No, she wants to do something. I think we all have to do something. If it's talking to one person, if it's sending money to another, if it's whatever. There was another thing that struck me very much. I didn't know, but everybody in the missions brings things, brings gifts, brings things for the soldiers, for the children, for anybody. Even it could be like for the children, even from dollar store toys, you know, like nonsense, but something. And they brought over a luggage of cards for the soldiers written by school children. I want to tell you, you have no idea what this little card made by hand, little hearts or whatever, by a school child does for a soldier in Israel at this moment. It's like you give it to them and they melt. A smile comes to their face. They can't believe that this child in America is thinking about them. They take this card like this. If they have a wall, they put it on their wall. It means so much to them, really. Like little things, big things, anything we can do, a prayer, something. But we can't forget, we really, as a people, we are wounded. This is true. We have a wound. Look, we were just a little one, and I'm gonna go into Tanya, but one of the last days we were going into with the bus, with the mission, we were going to a shiva of a mother that has lost her son in the IDF in Gaza. She knew we were coming. We were 22 people. She wanted us to come to her home. She was going to speak to us about her son, this and that. Okay. We're going somewhere in Jerusalem, little street, little apartment building, like a few stories up. You go, there's no elevator. Okay. As we're getting off the bus, my friend Shani Viton, she says, why are we going to the left? I thought the shiva was to the right, right? Because from the bus, what happens in Israel, when the house is very small, what do? The shiva, they put a tent outside. So then you know which house is in shiva, so people can come and visit. Okay. So she says, why are we going to the left if I saw there was a shiva to the right? And they explained to her, no, the address that the lady gave us, that's to the left, we're gonna go to the left. Okay. So everybody goes to the left and we find the apartment building. Everybody's going up the little stairs, right? And as I can see that everybody's going into the apartment of this lady, Shani and I are like the last ones going up. And she turns around to me before we get to the apartment and she says, Vivian, if I go to the other shiva, would you come with me? I said, sure, let's go. This lady already, like, it's like people are packing in her apartment. I don't even think we're gonna fit. Let's go. So we didn't say anything. We just left, right? The other shiva was down the little mountain, a few blocks down, and then to the left, and then there was this white tent. We go into the white tent. We don't know anybody, right? We don't know anybody. I don't even know the story. I don't know. Okay. We see two circles of people. One circle is older women. Another circle is younger women. So we ask around, what's going on? They said, no, the circle of older women, this is the mother of the soldier that died. And the second circle of younger women, that's the wife of the soldier that just passed away. So each one has their group of support. Okay. So Shani and I, we don't know them, right? So we just sat in the little edge. There was like two, and we just sat. Because what is the protocol in a shiva? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. It's just empathy. It's just your body is there saying, I care, I'm here, I'm with you, you're not alone. That's what it means. You're not alone. Because a person in their pain, right, can think I'm alone, nobody is sharing my pain, and can go into a very, very deep black hole. So why does the community come to a shiva? Because we're trying to tell the person you're not alone. We're sharing your pain, we're sharing this hard moment. So we just sat. And we saw the woman was speaking in Hebrew, everybody was speaking in Hebrew. I don't understand, that much Hebrew. Sometimes she was crying, sometimes we cried with her, sometimes, okay. After 10 minutes, Shani tells me, okay, I think we have to go because our group is in the other place. So Shani goes to the lady right next to her and says, by any chance, does the mother of this soldier, does she speak? First she says, we are from Miami, we came with a delegation, we're just here to give our love and support. Does the mother speak English? And what does the lady say next to her? She says, oh, you're from Miami, do you speak Spanish? Because the mother of the soldier is from Argentina. So what does Shani say? Well, I don't speak Spanish, but my friend here does. So now that I know she's Argentina, I'm from Peru, now I can go over, give a hug, That's another thing that is so incredible. People are in the raw. There's no skin. There's no mask, there's no skin. So even a person I have never seen in my life, I didn't, grow up like them. I'm totally from a different part of the world. But heart feels heart, soul feels soul. That's the divine soul. The divine soul is one. Right now, Israel is in the, huh?
Italia in action. Italia in action. When we
Interaction.
The interaction.
yeah, Italia in action. Because
I don't understand the word you're saying. What is the word?
Because you say all the clipot are out.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, but what is the phrase you're saying?
Tanya.
The Tanya, the Tanya in action. Okay, yeah. Yes, 100%. That's why I love the Tanya. Yes, 100%. There's no animal soul. Right now, that's right, a big divine soul. So I'm here, I'm in front of the woman, I just embrace her, right? And as I'm embracing her, I'm saying to her, I'm from Peru, right? So she starts to speak in Spanish to me. She starts to tell me what an incredible human being her son was, right? And it's just two souls who are just crying together. And she told me like this. Her son told the other soldiers when they were fighting in Gaza, he says, the Ktanim, the little ones, the ones that have little small-minded in here, think that this war is about Gaza. The Gdolim, the big ones know that this war is, you know what? This was actually another mother, but she said something different. The other mother also went to a Shiva said that the Ktanim, the son said, the Ktanim think that this war is about Gaza. The Gdolim know that this war is about redemption. This Shiva, she said almost the same words. She said that her son said, this war is about the whole world. It's about freedom for the whole world. This is how the soldiers are feeling. The soldiers are determined on victory. They want nothing less than victory. They're getting the big picture. So as I'm embracing her and she's speaking to me in Spanish and I'm talking to her in Spanish and I said, we came from Miami, and she says, you came for me? You came for us? I said, yes. We just want to say that we're with you. That's all. We cannot change somebody's reality. And that's not my job. That's Hashem's job. Hashem has to change this reality. I am not here to change reality. But we as human beings can share each other's pain. We can share in each other and say, you're not alone. We are with you. We care. And I told them, since October 7th, we don't sleep well either. We're not sleeping well either. The first thing we do with our cellulars the whole day is, what's going on? What's going on in Israel? What's going on in Israel? What's going on in Israel? And it's important for them to know that they are putting their husbands, their children, themselves on the line. Families are being torn, wounded. Economy. Our tour guide, amazing man. We had another young lady from the tourist agency, and she was like a coordinator. She came with us the whole time. You know what she said to me during the trip? She says, since October 7th, I have been laid off without work, without pay. I've been laid off work without pay since October 7th, 3 months. Only 2 weeks ago, because his mission started to have a job. We can't fathom what's going on there. For us, who thinks about that? Who thinks, where am I going to get my next paycheck? Where's my next meal going to come from? But Israel is wounded. This that they did October 7th has had many repercussions. Many. The people in the South, they have been evacuated. And one thinks, okay, they've been evacuated. They're great, right? No, they're not great. Many of them have been evacuated to hotels. And what's going on in the hotels? You don't have a family. You don't have your family meal. And not only that, many families The sons, one son was in one hotel, another son in another hotel, and their daughter, they're not together. Many of them are not together. And you know, this is causing tremendous, tremendous havoc, craziness in the families. There's a lot of social problems. October 7th wasn't just one day, was not just one day. There's a lot of, and it's going on. You know, we went to Tel Aviv. In Tel Aviv, there is, next to the Tel Aviv Museum of Art, there is it's called Kikar hostage. I don't know how to say hostage in Hebrew, but it's where the hostages' families have been there talking, demonstrating day and night, 24/7. Since, huh?
Kikar Hatufim.
Hatufim is okay.
Hatufim.
Okay. Well, what's going on there? So what's going on there? Not only are the families speaking the whole day, because they're advocating for people to have awareness of the hostages and pleading to the government to save the hostages and for people not to forget. But as good Israelis, they have done a lot of artwork to symbolize what's going on. I have the pictures I could show you.
You made them?
What?
The pictures.
I have the pictures. No, I didn't make them. They're on my cell phone. But I'll tell you.
You took the picture.
Yeah, I took the pictures. So one artwork is painting, and it's two arms, right? One arm from one person, another arm from, and they're just holding hands, right? This is the artwork. Now, one arm has the tattoo of the numbers in Auschwitz, right? The concentration camp, the Holocaust. And another arm has a bracelet of the Nova Festival. What is the message? They're both Holocaust. We are living a Holocaust. This is a Holocaust. In Israel, they are putting the fight, but Chas v'shalom, a million times, if we don't win, they will make October 7th in every city in the world where Jews are. They would come after us everywhere, right? So this is a Holocaust. That's why we have to understand that. And there was another artwork that yeah, what? Let me just. Yeah. Oh, you know what they're calling me? Because today's my mom's yard site. Rachel Bat Moshe. So another artwork that struck me, and really I think that is what we have to, this is part of our mission here, is there was a sculpture in I think it's Indiana, I was gonna say Indiana Jones, but that's not the artist. I think it's Robert Indiana, that the one that makes the love here, right in Surfside, you know, the LOVE, right? The sculpture, yeah. I think it's Robert Indiana. Okay. So somebody made in that style. Thank you. I can think, I can speak. It said, "You are not alone." And I think that is our mission statement for us, to make sure that every IDF, every family from the IDF, every citizen in Israel knows you are not alone. We got your back. We are with you in every way. And everybody has to get creative, you know, in your way, in your special way. Can you educate yourself? Can you educate another friend? Can you do something? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be in Shul 5:30. Some people from that trip are gonna speak.
Honey said yes.
Honey said yet? Okay.
She said 5.
And you were
5?
ready?
That's what she said. It could be 5:30. It was just yesterday she told us, so it could be.
Yeah, I'll go there. I think she said to me 5:30. Yeah, okay.
It's probably 5:30.
I'm gonna confirm. Okay, so whoever wants to come,
Upstairs, over here.
I don't know where is she on
She's
Friday?
always here, over here.
She's here now?
Yes.
Okay, fine, so it's there. Okay, so I'll tell you one word about my mother. My mother was all empathy. My mother, Rachel, her name was Rachel, and she really was like Rachel from the Torah. Everything that they say about Rachel from the Torah, that was my mother. She was beautiful on the outside, she was beautiful on the inside. She was curious, let's say that Rachel was meddlesome and curious. That was my mother.
Always with a smile.
Always with a smile, yes. But it was Mother Rachel. Rachel gave Leah, her sister, there was only one eligible bachelor to marry in the whole world. I mean, there wasn't two, it was one, and that was Yaakov. And they knew since they were little. They were two brothers, Esav and Yaakov. Esav, when they got all of the reports coming to them, he was becoming an evil person. And Yaakov was a man of Torah, a tzaddik, and Leah was the older daughter, and Rachel was the younger one. So they reasoned, okay, the older one, which is Esav, is going to marry Leah, and the younger one, Yaakov, is going to marry Rachel. And so she knew that. They knew that since they were little. And what happened? Leah would cry. That's why Leah, my name is Leah. Leah was Rachel. Leah was. So Leah would cry since she was a little girl because she didn't want to marry a Rasha. And she wanted to be very much a matriarch of the Jewish people. That's why she cried. She cried because she symbolizes the person that wants to change her life. Rachel symbolizes the tzaddiket, the person that has already elevated herself. That's why she was beautiful on the outside and beautiful on the inside. That's what it means. But Leah, she had tender eyes, which means that she wasn't so beautiful on the outside because she had cried so much. She had like wrinkles under her eyes. So she represents the Baal Teshuvah. She represents the person that wants to change her life. I'm destined for that Rasha, but I want to change and be part of the Jewish people. Now, Rachel represents a person that has tremendous empathy. What is empathy? Empathy is not sympathy. Sympathy is I'm on this throne up here of righteousness, and there's a poor person, and I say, oh, poor you. Here's a crumb of bread. Here's for you because you are such a neba. You're such a poor person. Here's for you. That's sympathy. Empathy is not that. Empathy is I'm here and there's a poor person there. You know what? Let me get on the floor with you. What do you need? You need food. I'm gonna make you food. You need my shirt. I'm gonna give you your shirt, my shirt to you. You need my heart. I'm gonna give it to you. That is empathy. Empathy is feeling the feelings of another, feeling the pain of another one, but not just detached. It's not detached. Sympathy is detached. Empathy is you cut your finger, it hurts me. The joke that they say, the old couple that's married and they go to the doctor, and what do they say? The husband says, our knee is hurting. Even if it was because that's the empathy. My mother, Rachel, she was empathy personified. Okay, she couldn't bear any. I would always tell her, like, you're like the Statue of Liberty. Like, give me you're tired, you're poor, your yearning masses to be free, because she would take care of the underdog, whoever it was. She would always with the underdog. She would always feel the pain, and it hurt her deeply, the pain of another, right? So that is also a Rachel from the Torah. That's why, even though she was destined to marry Yaakov, what happens on the marriage day? The people are gathered, right? The feast is made, and her father, Lavan, takes her wedding dress and is going to give it to Leah. There's no other person to marry. You have to understand, it's not just the guy she's getting. It's not just, oh, okay, I'll get another guy. There's no such thing. There's nobody else righteousness to marry. And this is like being part of the Jewish people, being the matriarch of the Jewish people is it's like sliding off you. You're not gonna be part of it. Now, it's incredible because she held the key. What was the key? Years earlier, right? Yaakov had to work for 7 years. 7 years earlier, when they just met, and they know that they're destined for each other, Yaakov tells Rachel, I know that your father is a cheater. So I'm gonna give you a secret code, right? I'm gonna give you a secret. What was the secret code? The word Hannah, because Hannah is an acronym of the 3 mitzvot of the women, right? Chala, Nida, and Hadakat Nerot. It's yeah. So that was the secret code. Now, she's seeing that Lavan is taking her wedding dress and giving it to her sister. What did she have to do? What did Rachel have to do?
Give her the secret code.
Well, that's what she did, but she could have what? She could have done nothing. Nothing. She didn't have to be even an antagonist. She could have just remained silent and not say anything. Now, what would have happened? Leah would have gone and dressed very nicely, put on her wedding dress, right? Gone to the chuppah, and under the chuppah, Yaakov was gonna ask her, and Leah would have said, I don't know. And then what would have happened? Yaakov would have turned on the lights and say, this is not Leah. You're cheating me. This is not my wife. I'm not getting married. What would have happened to Leah?
It wasn't humiliated.
Completely. She would have been humiliated in front of other people. Now, what does the Torah tell us about humiliation in front of others? It's the person wishes that they were dead. Why? Because usually we have a little bit of rose color on our cheeks. And when a person is humiliated in front of others, the color of their cheeks, like they become pale. The blood rushes away from them, pale as a dead person. And they wish, oh my gosh, I wish I could, like, the earth could swallow me right now because I don't want people to see me. So it's like killing them. And Rachel went to the level over the top. She didn't have to, she wanted to. That's her merit. That's why she's called Mother Rachel. And she went over to Leah, not only to tell her, here's my wedding dress, but she gave her, this is the secret code, so she wouldn't be humiliated. So that is empathy, but that's also another word that is bitul. Bitul is selflessness. Rachel is completely selfless. Why? Because there's a test. Because we have 2 souls inside of us, okay? How do we know if we're doing a mitzvah for the right reason? We don't know. Because, if I help somebody, how do I know it's not because I want to be the goody-goody? Oh, Vivian, you do so many mitzvot. Oh, my name is going to be up in a plate. Oh,
You do it secretly.
Yes, but even secretly, I'm going to tell you a story. Many years ago, I went to a class by Rabbi, what's the name of the Talmud University? Zweig. But Zweig Senior. This is like 20 years ago. And he told a story, a real story. He was once in a big dinner, those dinners that are like with the whole community. And he was going up to speak. And there was a member in the community that said to him, Rabbi, please don't mention my name. Don't mention my name. And Rabbi said, okay. Please, Rabbi, remember, don't mention my name, right? In the speech, don't mention me, don't mention me. So, Rabbi Zweig gave the speech, all's well. He comes down the podium and the man is devastated. Devastated. Sad, angry. And Rabbi Zweig, which is a tremendous intellect in the psychology of the psyche, he says, now I understood what happened. The man said to me, don't mention me, because what he wanted was, even though Mr. So-and-so doesn't want to be mentioned, I have to tell you what he did. So some people, even in secret, it's like, okay, so they'll know that I'm, very humble, and they'll talk about how humble I am. So what is the test? Because we don't know, right? What is the test if what I want to do is it coming from my divine soul or my animal soul? The test is, what if somebody beats me to it? I want to help this person. And I said, I'm going to go and rush and help. But somebody else came and they beat me to it. How do I feel? How do I feel?
Bad.
Huh?
Bad.
Well, if I feel bad, because it was my mitzvah, why did you take away my mitzvah? Then that is because it was coming from my animal soul, my ego. How could you beat me to something? You took my mitzvah from me. You took it, right? But if you beat me to help it, and I feel good, because you know what? The mitzvah is that for this person to be helped. Who cares if it was me or it was you? You helped them even before me, Baruch Hashem. That means that it was always from my divine soul. So Lavan is taking the dress from Rachel and it's gonna give it to Leah. And Rachel, yeah.
Now, after I have a question, but go on.
Okay, so I just finished this one. So Rachel not only is not angry, but she aids. She goes and she helps. Why? Because it's not that I have to be part of the Jewish people. So the Jewish people have to come into this world. Who cares if it's me or if it's her? Then we know that it comes from the divine soul. Are we together? Understand? Okay, what?
In days when we went to help Israel and the family hostage, and I feel really sometimes very difficult time, because you want to help from your divine soul, of course. You want to do your best to take action, and for instance, you go to see hostage families, to support. And yesterday they came to Holland, to the International Court of Justice, to complain about the hostages taken by Hamas.
Yeah.
Then a group of people came for them. So that was the purpose of the trip, to go and to support them. 150 people came. Then after that, the press was there. And of course you expect the press to really be also supportive, but you never know. So people sometimes can be very angry because Palestinians do more, protest more, show more, and people feel always victim, Jewish, Palestinian, the propaganda is better and everything. This is the animal soul, because I don't know, sometimes people get very, very mad, Jewish people, because they are very angry about some situation. I don't know. For the moment, for me, it's difficult to manage all this angriness against the press.
Catherine, hold on. You understand where she is? Catherine is from Belgium. She went with a delegation of 150 people from Belgium.
No, we went, to support the hostage family.
The hostage family in La Hague, right?
Yes, Den Haag, in La Hague.
Because it's an international court, and they want to make the case for the hostages and for the atrocities that Hamas perpetrated on the Jewish people. Now, what you're saying is that simultaneously there are protests in pro of the Palestinians, right?
No, the protests of the Palestinians were the day before. Thank God we didn't. We weren't aggressed by Palestinians. There were no Palestinians. Thank God. We were 500 people supporting the family. The press was Okay, the press didn't rely a lot, I must be honest. But my question is the godly soul, okay, is to support the family. Is the godly soul has to also to support the press, to make sure the press gonna rely, or because if we can be very disappointed, the press didn't rely as much as we expected. Okay, because we need the press, we need justice. That's why the so courageous 150 people, parents and relatives of the hostage came to
Right.
like for one day, more
But-
than 24. It's very tiring.
Catherine,
Yes.
the thing is that there, I don't think it's so much the divine soul. It's you're dealing with open lies. You're dealing with evil. This is not just the divine soul or the animal soul, right? If the press has a vested interest in saying lies, this is Amalek. This is just pure evil.
The press.
Yeah, the press or whoever it is. Look, inside of us, the animal soul and the divine soul, they're both doing a godly, they're both doing their godly work. And our work inside is to overcome our animalistic tendencies. But when you're talking about the press and opinions in, like as
People who came with us got very, very angry. And this is the animal soul, because I said to them, the purpose was to support the family. That's the chesed, okay? The chesed we did is incredible. We went,
so wait. So what did they get upset about? What was it? What
was the return they expect to be there? They wanted the press with us. They wanted to be closer to the building. Okay, we weren't close to the building.
Okay, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. We are in an imperfect world.
Yes.
We are before Mashiach, and there's many things that we want, but just because it's not happening like this doesn't mean that you're not effective. Okay, but Catherine, I'm gonna put you on hold to finish this class, and then we can talk more about this. Because I'm gonna.
Okay.
But very valid, very valid.
You know, in those days, because it's very emotional, sometimes you are from divine soul, animal soul, you don't know sometimes from where it comes from, because it's so emotional situation. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
This is my question, but I got you.
I understand, but we have to keep focused. Yes. We need to know, this is my north, this is where I'm going, and it doesn't matter what they're gonna tell me here or there, or what's happening in the universities. I have to be very, very focused. This is my goal, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in hold. I'm gonna just finish this. Okay. Anyways, so those were my words about my mother, and I live with her, and I have, I learned from her, although I'm not all like her. I have different personality, but when I started to study Torah and I saw all the characteristics of Rachel, I said, I know such a leash. Okay, I know what that is. And
3 years, 3 years.
My mother, 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, it was like, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna study a little bit of Tanya, and if you can take a book, we're on chapter 10. Chapter 10 is gonna talk about the tzaddik. You wanna listen? Okay, audio. Okay.
Sometimes when people talk, the conversation is endless.
Yeah.
No se termina.
Mhm.
Es como que, ¿qué puede hacer uno?
That's right. Okay, but it's all valid. We're living very hard times. We're living very strong times. Okay, chapter 10. Now it's very incredible because chapter 10, the number 10, like the fingers in our in our hands is telling us, it's telling us, there's a whole to do with it. Okay, so, yeah, you can turn it off. Yeah. I have my own personal, so I don't, I'm covered. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so chapter 10, I'm sorry. Chapter 10 is just like the 10 fingers of our hands. It's telling us that the world that Hashem made is a decimal world. It has 10 powers. Hashem is one. He divides his power into the 10 energies. Those are the 10 sefirot. And the chapter 10 in Tanya is going to speak about the tzaddik. Why is it going to speak about the tzaddik? Because the tzaddik is he who can master, who is able to master his 10 soul powers. Because we have 10 soul powers. These are like the natural resources of a land. And we have said in chapter 9 that the animal soul and the divine soul are like two conquerors for one land, okay? And in chapter 10, it's the tzaddik that has prevailed over his animal and the natural resources, those 10 powers, he's using it only for Hashem. Very interesting, because in the parsha, if we ever get there today, it's gonna talk about the temple, okay? And Mashiach times, when we're gonna have a temple, is all about that. It's about the world when it's totally given over to the divine. Everything is going to be, in the temple, there were many different materials. There were materials. The Talmud divides the different life forces in this world into the mineral, which is very low, into the vegetable kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the human being. And then there's the Jew. Okay, so it's like 4 basic kingdoms. The temple used materials from all those different kingdoms. It had stone, which is the mineral kingdom. It had vegetables in the vegetable dyes in order to make the curtains, okay? It had from the animal kingdoms were the skins of the animals used for the coverings, and skins of the animals were used for the parchment of the Torah, and the animals, there were sacrifices of animals. So that was anything that was used for the temple. The temple was a microcosm of the world. It was representing that whole kingdom. So all of the kingdom of the mineral was elevated through using minerals in the temple, all the vegetable kingdom through using vegetables in the temple, and so forth, okay? And then there's man. Man was the one that was doing the singing, the playing of the music like the Levites, the offering the korbanot, or the Kohen Gadol, or the Kohanim, okay? Now, as we see in the temple, all the materials that we're talking about, they were all given over to Hashem. So the whole purpose of anything that was used in the temple was given over to holiness. Now, in contrast, because the next holiday is Purim, what was our big sin on Purim? Our big sin in Purim is that from the destruction of the temple, right? And all the vessels that were taken from our temple, and even in the Purim Megillah, they're going to describe the curtains that were used and the columns. Those were all from our temple. Even Ahasuerus was using the clothing of the Kohen Gadol. So it was a desecration of something that was already dedicated for holiness, to use it for my personal, my ego, my personal satisfaction. And once something has been dedicated to God, it's prohibited from being used for me, to the point of capital punishment. That's what gave momentum to the decree of Haman, because we were all liable for death because we participated in the party that desecrated the vessels of the temple. Okay, so how do we get into that? Because we're saying the number 10 is about the 10 soul powers, and then the chapter 10 will speak all about the tzaddik, because the tzaddik is he who has been able to take all his soul powers and dedicate it to Hashem. Okay, are we
The
here?
soul powers are the Sefirot.
The soul powers are the Sefirot. So what are the soul powers? Just briefly, because we're gonna go very in detail into the Sefirot. How are you, Emily? We're gonna go in detail later on, but we have 3 intellectual soul powers. Those are how our mind functions, and this is the Chabad. This is a Chabad synagogue, because Chabad, it's an acronym of Chokhmah, Bina, and Da'at, are 3 intellectual powers. So Chabad is, how do I use my intellect powers to connect to God? That's what Chabad is all about. Okay, and Da'at. Okay, so Chokhmah is receiving information, Bina is understanding it, wisdom, which will become wisdom, and then Da'at is integration, how it becomes part of me. So I told the whole story when I was in Israel, right now. And what is Da'at? Da'at, I'm gonna, Chokhmah is just hearing the story. Bina is like, I think about it, let me understand it. And Da'at is, wow, now I want to go to Israel. Now I want to do something for Israel, because it becomes it involves me. It's gonna change me. That's Da'at. And that happens in our mind. Okay, so 3 intellectual powers and 7 emotional powers. That's why there's 7 days of the week. Okay, I think there's 7 colors in the rainbow. Am I right or wrong? Anybody knows? It sounds good. I don't know. It sounds good. I have to find out about that one. But 7 are the 7 branches in the candelabra in the temple, in the menorah, right? Because 7 is, there's 7 emotional powers. Okay, we are built, our body is built according to the Sefirot. So right hand is extension, is chesed, is what I do, what I give. But chesed is not just, oh, nice, because you're a kind person. Chesed means everything about me that is extending myself. Gebura is the restriction, the discipline, the going inward, the saying no. Okay, this is yes, this is no. Then I have my torso. This is the balance. When to say yes and when to say no. When we speak, we know it's a speaking. It's all about tiferet, because I have to know what to say, when to silence, when to speak, when to put a comma, when to put a period, when to put an exclamation point, right? And how to speak. If you're speaking to a child, I can't give the same class I'm giving now, because tiferet is like the thermostat. It's, I want to say something, but I have to get out of my little universe. I have to reach into, how am I going to convey it to you? So if I'm going to speak the same class to little child, I'm going to have to use colors and figures and get on my knees and speak to them in their language. We're together. So Tiferet is all about checking into reality, getting outside of myself. Then I have my right foot, it's Netzach. I'm just going very briefly in this. Netzach is valor, courage. What I've seen in Israel is people that have tremendous Netzach. When they say in the Torah, Netzach, Netzachim, that's what I saw. People that, even though they're wounded and they're bleeding, they're going forward, right? And they want victory. They're not gonna fall short of victory. This is Netzach. It's my right foot, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go. So it's Netzach. Left foot, it's Hod. Hod is I'm going forward with Netzach, but what is my balance? What is my mental health? What is my inside of me? What is my personal relationships in my home? Am I forgetting my family? Am I gonna conquer the world, but in the process I'm gonna lose my mind? Because that's the heart. It's the inner strength, what you can't see outside, right? What do we see in the magazines, in publics? We see all these stars, right? These stars are shining. They're so happy, right? These, I don't know, football stars, music stars, whatever. What about their heart? Are they inside? Are they a mess? Are they like a real mess in their psyche, inside, in their family lives? Is it like disgusting? There's no heart. There could be a lot of netzach and no heart. And then there's yesod. Yesod is the reproductive organs. So it's how I unite with another human being in order to create something greater than me. So we create a baby with another human being. I can't have a baby by myself. I can't. I need something from another human being. A pact. We are the people of the Brit. We're the Jewish people because Hashem, he made a pact with us. Once we made a pact with Hashem, the pact has a life of its own. And it brought us up to a level greater than we could do it by ourselves. That's a pact. That's Yesod. Yesod is purpose. And the purpose, a soldier could be a regular person, right? Regular guy, you saw him growing up, just a little kid. Once he becomes a soldier, I enlist in the army, right? This purpose fills him up. He becomes like a demigod, right? I'm willing to even give up my life for the purpose. That's a pact. That's Yesod. That's Yesod, right? And people, I think it's in the book by Franco, Viktor Frankl, right? What was the worst thing that could happen to a person in the Holocaust? One of the worst things. When did they stop living? When they lost their purpose. Because Yesod, the purpose, this can keep you going, right? And finally, we have Malchut. So Malchut is symbolized by the mouth because the kings, they rule death or life with their mouth. Anyways, that was just a short introduction to Sefirot. Chapter 10 is speaking about the tzaddik, and the tzaddik, the tzaddik is he who has mastered all his Sefirot, and it's like two divine souls, okay? All right, so we're gonna speak about the tzaddik today. So we have the tzaddik. And this class I took from something from Rabbi Miller and something from Rabbi Shishler. They're both in YouTube, you can look at them. Rabbi Miller is the one that made this book of Tanya. Okay, you can all look at it. Okay, so 147. So the tzaddik, he has two souls. He has a divine soul. Here, animal soul, and he has a divine soul. But we have said many times, what's the difference between the two? In the center of the divine soul is Hashem. So my life gravitates towards, when I wake up and when I do what during the day, it's what does Hashem want? Right? It's all about Hashem. In the animal soul is not evil, it's not bad, it can turn evil. This is where the ego can be born. Okay? So if Hashem wants me to do such and such thing, okay, very nice, but what do I want? Do I feel like it? It's time to light Shabbat candles, but you know what? There's a good sale in Macy's, maybe I'll do it later. Right? I don't want to miss the sale. Because this is, Hashem gives us an agenda, that's the Torah. 365, not only 365, 613 commandments. But if we go into the oral Torah, It's really a detail of how to live our life, because this is Hashem making a little note for us. This is what I want you to do when you wake up. This is what I want you to do when you wash your hands. This is what I want you to do when you eat. This is how you eat. This is what you eat. This is how you talk. This is how you think. This is how, I mean, really, Hashem tells us everything, right? And how do you go to sleep, right? It's all this, but maybe I have my own agenda. So the bigger the ego, the bigger my list becomes. The bigger my list, and sometimes my list is not going to match up to Hashem's list. Now, what happens to the tzaddik? The tzaddik is he who has been able to totally transform. He transforms his animal soul to want, to desire. Desire is in the subconscious. Okay, he totally desires the same as his animal, as his divine soul. Okay. Now, in this chapter, they're gonna talk about, and okay, so it says, when a person causes his divine soul to prevail over the animal soul, so the divine soul prevails, and this is really the chesed, the kindness that our divine soul came to do in this world. The mitzvah of our divine soul is to domesticate our animal soul. Now, if you're a tzaddik is born with the possibility of being a tzaddik. It's not like if I really behave really, really, really well for 120 years, at the end, Hashem's gonna make me a tzaddik. It's not gonna happen. A tzaddik is a person that Hashem has endowed with this possibility, because the tzaddik can transform his animal. If we're not in this category, we can merely dominate the animal. But the animal, then, if it's dominated, anytime it can wake up and be an animal. Okay? So, in this chapter, they're going to tell us, and when he wages a war against the animal soul, to the extent, 148, if you want to follow, that he banishes and eradicates its evil from its abode. Now, evil in the Tanya is synonym with ego. Evil is not what we think Hamas. This is not the evil in the Tanya. Evil in the Tanya is merely referring to the ego, because ego is easing God out. Okay, so, and when it has eradicated its evil from the abode is here, is left part of the heart, as it is written. So this is now, they're going to tell us a mitzvah from the Torah. A mitzvah from the Torah says, and you shall eradicate the evil from your midst. So, okay, in Hashem's 613 commandments, there's one commandment that says, we came here to do battle and to dominate our animal. So it's not like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to be a good person, but I have bad thoughts. Oh my gosh, my life is not worth anything. No, because the Torah is telling us, you didn't come here as an angel. Angels don't have an animal soul. Angels only have this. We came here precisely for that. We came here to do that work. Now, everybody has to do that work, and nobody can do the work for us. Like sometimes you have a fight with somebody, or a loved one, or your husband, and they tell you, you don't make me happy. You don't treat me nice. You. It's not you. It's not the other person. You have in yourself, you have an animal. You're discontent. You're depressed. You're seeing the glass half empty. It's you. But you have to work on yourself. No, I can't make anybody happy. I can't. You cannot. Happiness is self-owned. It's only my job is to make myself happy. Hashem gives us a list. This is how to be happy. But if I want to let my animal soul run all over the place, until I work on it, and it says, you shall eradicate the evil from your midst. Okay, so we came for that. Okay, the person who has in fact eradicated evil from his heart has not only banished the external practical expression. So there's two expressions of evil. One is in what we can't see, right? How does a person behave, right? How they think, how they talk, how they walk, what do they do? But there's the unconscious. There's a supra-conscious. What's going on in there? So it says, as to one who achieves this goal, but finds that the evil has nevertheless not actually been converted into good, in which case his entire capacity for desire, okay. So here they're gonna tell us, it's not just one kind of tzaddik. The category of tzaddikim is divided into two, okay. There's a complete tzaddik, completely has transformed his animal soul, and then there's the incomplete tzaddik, incomplete. So these are both tzaddikim. So, which means they both have transformed their animal. What's the difference? What makes a person to be in this category rather than in this category? And it's very appropriate because yesterday was, as I said in my class earlier week, this is the week of Valentine's Day, right? What is Valentine's? What are we celebrating Valentine's? Love, love, love. We have a kala here. We're celebrating love. It's very interesting. I'm just gonna tell you a little thing here. Complete tzaddik has totally transformed his soul, his animal, into another divine soul. Incomplete tzaddik, he has transformed it because he's a tzaddik, right? But there's a little part, minuscule, a little ego that was left. And it could be less than 1 in 60th. It could be less than 1 in 1,000. There's a little, or 10,000, doesn't matter. It's a little, just a little vestige. So it's so minute that it's not perceptible. He doesn't have a bad thought. He doesn't want to, he won't speak bad. He won't do a bad action, nothing. Nevertheless, there's a little part in his animal soul that is still alive in the ego. Now, I said this is the week of Valentine's. Why did I mention it? What is the key component between this tzaddik and this tzaddik? You know what it is? It's love. This tzaddik completely loves Hashem to the extent that there's nothing left of him. Remember when I talked about Mother Rachel? Rachel, whoever was before, she was totally selfless. She gave of herself, even her husband, even the secret code. She gave it all. There was nothing left for her. That's the complete tzaddik. The incomplete tzaddik is he who is in this category, but the love is not complete. There's a little, I love you, but I also love myself a little. A little bit, just a little bit. And you know what? It makes a big change in a person. Maybe it's not even visible to the eye, but something inside is not quite the same. Understand? And you know, ladies, we can talk about this, and this is not just a nice philosophy. It applies to everything we do in life. Because as much as our love is for God, it's going to influence how we wake up, how we face our family, how we face our job, how we face life, how we go to sleep. It's gonna influence everything. Wouldn't it influence a soldier that goes to war? If he's totally committed to the mission, he's gonna be one type of soldier. But if there's something, a little bit of something there that is not totally given over, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when push comes to shove? What's gonna happen? There's something not quite there. So that's what it's all about. Thank you, ladies. I'm gonna leave it here. Catherine, I'll call you. We'll talk about that.
Yes, a small question. You said that the people in Israel said it's not a war against Hamas, it's about redemption. What
Yeah.
do you mean by that the Jewish people has do it's like a redemption? We do
Yes,
like
I
a
mean,
teshuvah?
I mean that not only is it a war for against Hamas, but it's a war also for our existence, and everybody understand that it's a war that if we win, B'ezrat Hashem, it's gonna bring redemption, it's gonna bring Mashiach. So
Okay.
that's what it is. It's a much bigger picture than it's not just a little small picture.
Okay, thank you so much, Vivian.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay, ladies, can you sign my sheet? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll call you anyways. Okay, bye. Huh? We went off
It
of
doesn't
the
matter.
chart, but when we spoke important things,
You wanna give me a hug?
I'll give you a hug.
I thought you were gonna be there now.
Thank you, Vivian.
I'm gonna be there, shopping out there.
Where, you gonna come?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
come. I'm gonna come.
How is the little one?
She's great. She's coming to